Mr. Elwell, yesterday was the deadline for the state, local, and tribal governments to register their interest in participating in the integration pilot programs. I understand. How many notices of intent did the FAA receive?
I don't know the exact number, sir, but it's hundreds. It's been we've been very happy with the response.
Mm-hmm. At some point, would the list of applicants be made public? How are you approaching that?
So I'm not sure, because it's an acquisition process that ends up with a MOU with the participants. I'm not quite sure how much of the information can be made public, but we'll get back to you on that.
Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. Earlier this year, it was reported the Joint Advisory Committee had been divided with regards to determining proper roles of different levels of government and regulating UAS operations. What's the current status of the DAC's work? Is it did you tell them to go back to the drawing board? Did you say thank you very much? Where are we at with that?
So I think you're referencing task group 1 was the task group that was charged with that question. And that was before my time. In looking at it as I took over, I felt it was quite a bit to ask of that committee, quite frankly. They briefed out at our last meeting in Seattle, and what we informed them is that with the advent of the integration pilot program, we're going to retask that group to, as Dr. Alonso suggested, and I agree wholeheartedly, is that we need to retask task group 1 to be more narrow and more specific on the data we need to collect and the data we maybe don't need to collect, and how we can use the data going forward. And that's data across everything that we're going to do with the IPP.
Yeah. Getting back to Dr. Alonso's answer to my question on data sharing, we have any limitations on sharing data from different states, different interest groups as we move forward on the UAS pilot program?
I think that our only limitation is what the participants are willing to provide.
Okay.
Of course, our hope is that it'll be much like we've done with Legacy Aviation and CAST, SIAS, is to get agreements with all providers so that, as Dr. Alonso said, we have a constant flow of data and information that helps us understand the technology so we can better regulate it.
Yeah, I just know that this is one of the hurdles we had when we set up the 6 or so test sites in the 012 bill, I think, or whenever we last did it. But that one of the limitations that resulted in the test sites not being fully utilized was the issue of proprietary information and how it's being shared. So, you know, that if that hurdle still exists, we're still going to have the same problem. If there's a way to reach that hurdle, get over that hurdle, then actually, if you find a solution, let us know on that.
Thank you. I agree. It is a hurdle, and we do need to get beyond it.
Earlier this year, the administration said they have a two-for-one executive order on eliminating regulations before adding regulations. As you're moving through this particular exercise on UAS, are you running into any of these two-for-one problems?
No. What we are trying to do is have a discussion intergovernmentally how we're going to treat emerging technologies, because of course there's not a lot of regulation in existence. So within the confines of UAS or another commercial space, for instance, where would you do the two-for-one, or do we want to do two-for-one for something that could be so economically beneficial to the country?
Yeah, great. That's all I had, Mr. Lawrence. Do you have anything you wanted to add?
No, sir.
Great. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, yes.
I would add